What's going on, my peoples? I go by the name the Sorcerer, and I'm just going to do a reading. I've got these new calling cards. I've shuffled them already, and I'm going to pick one intuitively, and then I'll commence with the reading. All right. I'll be doing a reading on the topic of what's holding you back. Okay. I really enjoy these calling cards. Shout out to my wife, Sage the Dragon, and yeah, let's do a reading. If it resonates, I hope it helps. If not, send it back to the universe. Energy is fluid. We keep on shining and we stay rising. So let's see what's happening. I'm going to just shuffle the deck. Hope everybody's okay. I'm feeling good, feeling relaxed, and I'm feeling like the energy that I'm feeling currently over the last couple of days is a big release that people are feeling. People had to go through certain trials and tribulations, and I honestly feel like during this time people have not only just feel like this great deal of conquering and strength. I feel like there's growth within them situations, that you're not limiting yourself, that you're unlimiting yourself and looking within the growth and possibilities of yourself. So I think at the end of the day, you know, if it resonates with you, kudos to you anyway. But yeah, let's see what's holding you back anyway, because at the end of the day, you know, what's holding you back could be something that you could just reassess in order for you to make leaps forwards. So yeah, all right. One more. Yeah. Excuse me about that. That was my partner. She's working behind the scenes, and she's just having a cough. But at least you know this video is live for real. But yeah. That's the great thing about like recordings anyway. A real authenticity of the readings. But yeah, let's see what's currently holding you back. All right. Big shifts. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, interesting. Nearly there, guys. I'm just gonna check what's holding you back. I will pull another clarifier. Okay. Right, so what's currently holding you back in the present situation that you're going with right now, it's you've got the devil. You got the devil in the whole theme of the reading. And when it comes to the devil, you have to look at what's holding you back in the respects of, is there any toxic ideas that you're holding on to? Is there any sort of perhaps voids in your life? Perhaps you've got some type of like lack of control when it comes to usage of like drinking, if it's about living a healthy lifestyle. Perhaps you're wanting to quit now in terms of like smoking. Now is the time. Now is the time. You know, if you've had the long process, and I think you know yourself what's holding you currently back anyway, because it's that deep thought with the Hermit card, understanding that during this current time that that you've had this moment, it's like you fall by it long and hard, and now you are ready to make a release, which is the Tower card. And the one thing I will say is this: you're ready, right? You're ready. Even if you're not ready, you have two choices. You can leave the tower before it turns to rubble, or the diviner will just press the button and you'll be in the rubble. I would rather pick the first option, and by doing that, you'd be able to make that decision, you know, and it will be on the basis of your control. Because when you're ready, when you get that button pressed by the divine, it's very crude, it's very sharp, it can be very like abrupt. Some people need it, but I'm just saying to you that if you have the choice, it is better for you to have the towel moment and you leave in the towel before you get trapped in the towel, right? And also, what's holding you back? You got the Page of Wands, followed by the Queen of Cups, and it's a case, excuse me, of your ego. Your ego, you know. Um, it's all about you really working on, you know, having to understand that there's a difference between, there's a fine line um, between confidence and arrogance, and you know, having to drop that ego. Some people, I've even heard that people say that, you know, it's not arrogance, it's, you know, aggressive confidence. And to be honest with you, it's about understanding that, you know, you are not the exception of an ego death. You're not the exception of like saying, you know, you know, this is, you know, no, I'm above all of this anyway. Like, you know, I can still hold that ego. The higher your ego is, the more likely that it's going to just hit you, and you're going to basically have that time where it's going to fall flat on your face. And the advice I'm saying is about you reassessing that, as well as the things that's holding you down. And from the card, the Devil card, that comes from a place of your ego. It's a case of you also understanding that might be the thing that be holding you, and that is the thing that's holding you down. You know, there are other elements, but it's a case of you having to have that ego death. And I think, you know, I know you've come to that realization of that, you know, and it's a case of like being a bit more aware of like having the consciousness of, you know, with your ego, is it affecting your direct circle of friends? Is it the way, you know, you're going for a new job and you're like, you've come there really arrogant, and then, you know, before you've even gone into the interview, and you've given, you know, your chance of getting in that process of, you know, just getting to that process, all I'm saying to you is this, you know, by you having that sense of ego and having that sense of arrogance, you have either two choices. The person that, for example, if you're getting into that job, would basically think that you're not the sort of like person that's going to be an added, you know, a good influence for their team or their company, or they'll see it as, well, if you've got this confidence or arrogance, we need to see how you can back this up. And you're going to have that ego death when you can't back this up, because it's going to bring you back to basically, it's going to bring you back down and take you a peg or two back down with you. So my advice is really to check yourself before you hit that moment of that ego death and it falls flat on your face, you know. And that comes down to of not letting that be not letting that be your reality right now. Excuse me. With the Seven of Swords, it's about you planting removing the weeds and adding new seeds into your life. That's the challenge that you have, and what's holding you back is not making that your new reality and bringing that into your present and future self. So the idea is to remove that. That's what's holding you back. You know, that's what's going to stop you from progressing. And I've only used the work interview, you getting a job as as an example, excuse me, as an example, because you know, a lot of people like to go, and try to get a new career, try to get a new job. But if you have that sense of arrogance, you have to either really, really be ballsy and back it up, or 9 times out of 10, the person's not going to take you seriously. The employer is not going to take you seriously and actually think that you're a bit of a, mm, it's not good for the company. I was going to say something a little bit more spicy, but you know, I'm just gonna say it. The person thinks you're a knobhead, like an absolute, knobhead, and it's not gonna serve you anything, because it's not gonna be a case of you getting that job. And at the end of the day, you know, shows that you're not ready to undertake these certain like responsibilities, because you need to act a specific way with working with these companies. There's got to be a sense of like, you got to play the game. Unfortunately, that's life, but you got to play the game. You got to be smart with it and pick and choose when to use these sort of elements. Because, for example, I'm a confident person, but when you're in an environment where you just need to just shut up and listen, I do that. I am a very confident person, but I wouldn't want to act a certain type of way when all I can do at this time, it will be more valuable for me to learn during these processes, rather than act like I'm Mr. Big Charlie Big Balls or whatever when I'm not. But just saying, as I said, um, what's your soul saying to you at this time is basically for you to remove the ego and have a new cup in your life. So bringing new emotion into your life, it's going to be a new fulfillment regarding that matter. And it's a case of you being really active into looking into, finding new creative ways, finding inspiration, finding that fire energy within you. And the time is now. You got the Wheel of Fortune. You can turn this into 180. As you can see with the Wheel of Fortune, you've got people say it's a compass, it's also a watch. So the time is now for you to make a change. And when you do so, it's a portal for you to get into and becoming a new version of yourself. I think from your past, the reason why this is holding you back as well is that you've got the Two of Wands followed by the Six of Swords, as you can see over there. And I'm going to tell you something with the two. This comes in a place where I believe you've had to take a backward step. So this ego that's holding you back has come from a place of you entering your life at the past when you needed it. And that comes from a place of, you got the Fool card over here, because I needed clarity with that as well. It comes from a place of yes, from your early days. And I think it's sort of like an earlier time in your life. And I think it also comes down to a bit of like immaturity as well. I feel like from your past, you've basically not really looked from the standpoint of like, with your actions, is it how is it affecting the people around you? It comes from a very selfish place, if I'm being honest, because as a reader, it's not what I tell you things what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. And the truth is, if I'm being real with you, it comes from a place of you being really selfish, not having the care of anyone but yourself. So, and it's a case of you, as I wanted to get more clarity, Nine of Pentacles, and it comes from a state of entitlement. You expecting things, perhaps that everything was given to you, and now it's a case of you needing to get that reality check, because at the end of the day, you know, in some form or way, you're going to get yourself checked, and that's through source. You know, only time will tell, and time will build, and as the time will build, perhaps you needed, with as big as your ego, you needed to get that big drop of ego death, you know, to hit you flat in the face for you to get that humbleness, and you're getting that from the essence on what crowns you, from the 3D, from the empire, from the emperor, excuse me, from the 3D, from the emperor, and you've got the Hierophant. So you're getting both of them being a case of like giving you that sense of ego death, because that's what's going to bring you um, forwards in terms of humbleness. It's a sense of refereeing. You know, they had to show governance during this current time, because it's that Oedipus complex. He had to fly. He flown with a set of wings built with feathers and what's it? Candlewick, right? Not candlewick. Melted candles, and he's glued them together. And he went too far to the sun. It's just basically the metaphor of you going right to the top, for you to basically go down and hitting you flat in the face, and having your ego death. And this is basically all in your plan from source, all in the plan from source in the universe, for you to basically start over. It's the essence of taking action, and they want you to deliberate and really contemplate on, like, about how you're going to reassess things going forwards. It's a case of just stepping back and actually just looking from yourself within. And I think it's a place of you needing to I'd say introspection, definitely introspection within yourself, to check yourself before you wreck yourself, basically. Your incoming future is basically you manifesting that. It's, you know what, it's it's okay to have confidence, but not arrogance. So it's about you fine tuning this and you manifesting this. And you know what, the moment you bring that new energy of knowing not to go with your ego and more with yourself, knowing of, like, of your believing and backing up with your knowing your abilities and backing it up with your abilities, because arrogance is a form of like ignorance as well. It it comes with a place in your life of just basically being like ignorant. So with confidence, it's a case of you being able to just exude that energy basis on your competency of your abilities, and that's fine. But arrogance is basically more to do with your ego. So it's about you fine tuning this situation, and you stripping yourself down, you know, and actually looking within yourself. You got some strong cards. It's a case of you basically utilizing. You got the Knight of Wands, and your advice card is basically the King of Pentacles. And I know they say the King of Pentacles is about resourceful. I mean, about being a social butterfly. It's a case of you using your resources now with your newfound knowledge, and basically fulfill your potential. Optimizing. Knights of Pentacles, fire energy, is that optimize yourself, bring that energy and channel that energy. You can use that energy somewhere else in your life, and not, you don't have to be like, it's not a case of you being cocky or arrogant. It's about you having a sense of emotional maturity during this time, and you do things with more less no you do it with less recklessness and more control in your life. And I think that's what source wants you to do, and that's what's currently holding you back, is your lack of control. More you're ego driven. It's a case of you having just to do little fine tunes, rather than you being in a state of just basically just going balls to the wall and being like, Mr. Charlie Big Balls. It's not going to work. the people around you, they're gonna see you got the Six of Wands followed by the Four of Pentacles for your cards, and the Six of Wands being your advice, and the Four of Pentacles being the card as it is. And the people around you are going to see a more balanced version of you, and they're going to be more happy. I think it's a case of you being in a state where you're going to show that you have grace, and I think it's sort of bringing the human side of you, and I think it's going to you're going to start to attract more positivity in your life as you're being more balanced. People are not going to be like, oh no, it's him again, or it's her again, or she thinks she's this, or he thinks he's that. It's actually just being, in a sense, ways like respect. There's going to be more respect about you, and more control within your life space, and I think you should continuously do so. I heavily recommend that you should do so. At the end of the day, I feel like there's going to be good things gravitating towards you, and it's going to be a change. I see the changing, because with the Knight of Swords, with the King of Swords, with the King of Swords, it's about black and white. It's about making that fundamental choice of doing so, of making that clean cut choice. That is, it's either yay or nay, and you're going to pick that you're going to make these choices of making the changes, which is going to give you much more of a more rounded energy about who you are, and it's going to become more attracted. People are going to become more attracted to you, and I think you're going to become more accessible as well, which is great. Your hopes and fears. This is a new chapter you should enter, because you've got the Ace of Pentacles, and this is going to be something that's going to be wish fulfilling, which is the Nine of Cups. So you're going to enter a new portal in your life. So a new you. This is a case of you being to continue your good work. But and I'm going to be honest with you, right? You'll see your blessings as it is, and you'll see it. You'll see your blessings. I say more in the 3D. There is going to be things happening in the universe, and they will be happening. But I think it's because it's such a ego-driven change. You're going to see it. You're going to see it from the people around you, you're going to see it and how people approach you. You're going to see the opportunities that will arise. So it's a case of you will see it, and it will be a new version of you. And it's about you wanting to make these changes. I'm not necessarily forcing you to, but I'm advising you, if it resonates with you, it's time to make that change. And I think, no, your outcome's good, actually. Your outcome's good. I'm not going to get any clarifications, but you've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, and you've got the Ace of Cups as the clarification. Is you basically being more measured in your approach as well. I think there's more control in your life, rather than you basically taking irrational thoughts, and you're going to make more logical steps in order for you to get them, in order to get emotional fulfillment. I think this comes from a place of you actually checking yourself and actually being more measured, rather than being like, boom, boom, I'm going to show the world that I'm this and that, without any way of backing it up. But I think it's more of a humbling approach to you. I see a lot of self-love. Yeah, I see a lot of self-love following more of a sort of like the feminine energy rather than the masculine. And that's you being more in tune with yourself, being well more rounded, showing grace, showing love. And this is with the Queen of Wands. You're going to be more in tune with the universe, because in the olden days they always see the black cat as the universe in your relationship, and being more in tune with yourself, rather than your lower nature self, which is your sacrum, your root chakra, the was it red? Yeah, the color red. You're gonna see lighter colors going forwards within yourself. There's gonna be a lighter energy about you, you know, and you're gonna just see your long-term goal, which is the Knight of Pentacles. It's the slowest moving knight, but it's the one that's going to bring more treasure home, rewards, gifts. So, from what I'm seeing, just to summarize, is that you're going through a process of ego death, which is going to hold, which has held you down, and you know this yourself. And I think you want to make these changes, but it's a process of you taking steps of waiting and contemplating. And when you do so, there's going to be an element of you needing to plant, to remove the weeds and planting the seeds, because you're going to steal your own reality if you don't make these fundamental choices of your ego. You know, at the end of the day, you are bounded by your, because you got the devil card, which for me represents, you know, you got the past, you got the future, and you need to really work on your present, which is going to ultimately free you, because the part reflecting on the past and thinking about the future is all ego. You need to work on self right now in the trenches, and this is a reflection of your past. There are times in your past where you believe that you was entitled. Now I know you was entitled, you know, everything in your life was just like handed to you and you expected that. And I think a lot of people in that time space didn't really help you in that time, because I feel like it fed your ego. You know, you just had a lot of yes men or yes women or whoever, whatever gender you perceive yourself as, but you're getting your ego death, which is going to bring you down, you know, a peg or two. But this is what's needed for you to progress. And going forwards, you're going to make these choices, these fundamental choices of looking within yourself anyway, you know, because you want the changes. I think you've understood that this ain't healthy going forwards. You're not progressing. If anything, you've had a regression rather than a progression. So all I'm just saying is just keep doing your thing. And I think at the end of the day, like, understanding that at the start had very masculine energy, real masculine energy. It's time for you to just be a bit more aware of yourself. And it doesn't make you any less of a person, rather you're masculine or feminine. It's just that having to be in tune with each of them gives you more of a completeness about who you are, a more balanced version of yourself, which is going to give you a new goal, a new perspective, blessings, and lastly, there's going to be a wish fulfillment. And I'm just going to just say to you, be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself, because it's about you looking within. And not a lot of people like doing that. Like, a lot of people like to escape from that. But yes, I hope you like that reading. I go by name the Sorcerer. I wish you love, peace, and light. Again, love.
Sorcerer.